Good morning, folks. It's 6 a.m. and it's the Lazy Hiker. We're going to go to Chesler Park today in Canyonlands National Park and also down the Joint Trail. We're getting started early so we can see some morning color, not have the noon color of the Chesler Park being washed out by the sun. It's going to be a clear and bright day. So let's get started. The first part of this hike is a steep ascent out of this little hole. Then we get on kind of a top of a shelf, a bench, go on that a ways. It's very scenic, so enjoy. This is right at the beginning of the trail. You'll have this view when you get to the top. We're just a little bit down the trail. This rock here provides good shade in the afternoon when you're coming back. If you want to take a break, there's a little rock there to sit on. Also, people like to rest over here under this kind of mushroom rock. There's a lot of places along here you could rest on the way back, though we're not too far from the trailhead. Alright, you'll come up through here and you'll get to this view, which I always thought was fantastic. We're going to be winding our way over there. Probably a crack is right through there. This whole section of the hike is really scenic. Right time of year, a lot of flowers blooming. Not right now, we're a little too early. Do another crack right over there. You get a whole nother view of rock monoliths. This whole trail is just incredible. We're not to the Joint Trail yet, but it's going to look a lot like this. Well, the camera doesn't like that contrast. We're about to head down into Elephant Canyon, and then we'll have to head back up. That's the toughest part of the trip. Steep climbs up and down. And be careful on this stuff because the sand gets over the rock and can make it slippery a little bit. So okay, we're at the bottom of Elephant Canyon. Now we're going to have to go up and get out of this canyon. That's the tough part. There's a trail sign here, and Chesler Park's only 0.8 miles. But if we want to go to Druid Arch, just straight ahead, 3.3 miles. But we're going to Chesler Park today. Tomorrow we'll go to Druid Arch. Still climbing out of Elephant Canyon. And here's your reward for reaching the top of Elephant Canyon. Or climbing out of Elephant Canyon. Can't really get to the top of a canyon. We'll have a straight stretch for a while, and then we'll have to climb again. Alright, we're at the Chesler Park Overlook, looking back the way we came. It's 2.7 miles to this point, and it took me 2 hours to get here. Here's the Chesler Park side. If you hike down just a little ways from the viewpoint, you actually get a way better view of Chesler Park. Contrast is just not cutting it. Just a short ways down the trail after the viewpoint, we get to this sign. We could get to Druid Arch this way. We're going to the joint trail. We're going to make a loop. We're going to come back this way, but we're going to go left first. Still can't get that contrast to work. This trail is mostly dirt and sand. We got a little hill to go over here. Then it's going to flatten out and be nice and level for a while. No more contrast. This should be better.
This is a long trail. Turned out to be 13.8 miles with the side trip to DP1. If you don't go to Devil's Pocket, it's only 11.8 miles.
Here's a viewpoint just past CP1. A little break in the rocks that lets you look the other way. Here's a closer view in Chesler Park. Still early, so I haven't seen anyone else. Nice and quiet. Peaceful. that rock out there. A nice and easy stroll through most of Chesler Park after all that climbing and scrambling down you had to do. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning now. Still haven't seen anybody on the trail. Here we come to another trail junction. Joint trail 0.8 miles, viewpoint 500 feet. And Devil's Kitchen Campground 4.5 miles. And from that trail sign we're going to descend steeply into the joint trail. And the squeeze begins right away. Barely get it through here with my backpack. I have to take it off. Well, I took my backpack off for this section here, but there's a lot of this, so I'm going to try to put it back on and hopefully not scrape it up too bad. It's narrow though. Continues on. It's not all just a smooth walk. It's very quiet in this crack. Everything echoes. It's almost eerie. That was actually a pretty steep climb down. This way we have a log with some steps for us. We made it to Rock Cairn Cove. A lot of elaborate cairns been made in this little cove here. The rock cairn area is back there. You're going to climb up a little bump and then head straight down. Well, I made it through the joints. It was a very short section. Interesting. But if you have claustrophobic tendencies, you might want to skip it, especially if you've gone through the short joint on the way that gets you to Elephant Canyon. You'll know, because these are much thinner and longer. But hope you have fun through them. All right, we're coming down from the joint trail. There's this old sign. Tells you to go that way. We're coming down. You get to this wash. See these cairns over here, but I looked right and left. I knew I needed to go right, but there's actually cairns that go straight across. So we'll hit the road in just a second, and we'll take the road to the right. Here we are at the end of the trail, and the beginning of the road. Actually, also the end of the road as well. There is an outhouse here. We're going to take a right. You could have gone down the wash to the right, and it would meet up with this where we need to go. However, it's very deep sand, so that's why they made the trail, and I would advise using it. We're on the road now, but that doesn't mean the views are gone. All right, we come to a fork in the road. We're going right. We're going to have to keep our eye out for a sign for the trail in about 0.4 miles or so. Chesler Park Trailhead, Beef Basin. Well, the trail's marked well. Not hard to find. Chesler Park, foot trail only. Climbing again. This is heading toward Devil's Pocket 1 campsite. Here's a view from the top of the pass going to Devil's Pocket 1. We're in Devil's Pocket. Alright, I made it back to DP1 this time from the other direction so that I could complete the entire trail. Still a pretty cool place. If you ever come back and backpack, I try to get that site DP1.
Here's the kind of tough part of the trail going to DP1. And there's a log here that is almost straight up. It doesn't look like it in the picture here, but it's a extreme angle there. So beware.
There's a little arch here. It looks like it's like a sideways arch. Sometimes you wonder what crazy person found the routes that are here that they made into trails. Somehow we came from that way. It's just a sea of rock. Alright, we're coming back around to Chesler Park. Now that it's evening, we're getting the sun hitting the back wall. So we made it back to our junction in Chesler Park. We're going to be going left, which will head us to Elephant Hill in 3 miles, 2.9 miles. Here's the same view we had at Chesler Park this morning. Now it's around 5 o'clock. The morning is definitely better here. Alright, we're on the other side of Chesler Park Overlook, heading back to Elephant Hill Trailhead. There's actually phone service here. Alright, we're still heading toward Elephant Hill Trailhead. We've got about a mile to go. I'll try to give you a 360 view. Close to 360. In person, this view here is fantastic, but the scope is tremendous, so it's never going to transfer to a TV screen, even large. But come here, you'll see it yourself. Okay folks, this is Lazy Hiker again at the end of the trail, and it was 11.2 miles total. Started here, Elephant Hill, went to the Chesler Park Overlook, which is right here, around this big loop. Also went down here to DP1, which is about right here. That added 2 miles to my trip, but I didn't calculate that in 11.2. Then came back through here and back to the end. This section here, pretty tough. Up and down, very steep, and a lot of sand in this area.
So thanks for watching The Lazy Hiker. To me, this is the best trail in the Canyonlands Needles District. Enjoy your hike. If you think this hike might be a bit too much for you, then at least go to Chesler Park Overlook. That's 3 miles. And I would highly encourage you to continue on to where I have my finger here, on into Chesler Park, which is a fairly easy walk, pretty level, much different than what you've already come through the 3 miles, and every bit worth it, the extra mile. Just beautiful walk through Chesler Park.